Winners and losers of NFL opener between Eagles and Cowboys and Jalen Hurts was lightning. The Philadelphia Eagles, by the way, defeated the Dallas Cowboys 24-20 in the NFL season opener. And the Eagles, by the way, defensive tackle Jalen Carter was ejected for spiting before the first play from scrimmage. Oh my god. And the game, by the way, was delayed for over an hour due to the lightning in the area. And the Philadelphia Eagles, what a start to the 2025 NFL season, by the way. And Thursday night, meeting between the regaining Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles and the NFC East rival Dallas Cowboys at Lincoln Financial Field. And included, by the way, the unveiling of a championship banner and the ejection of a pro bowler for his biting before the first play for a scrimmage and a weather delay of more than an hour that pushed the final result into Friday morning. Oh my god. And by the way, it didn't include one of the league's biggest stars. And it's a Cowboys, by the way, iconic star stripped from Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, by the way, after he was shockingly traded to the Green Bay Packers last week. And as for that, by the way, aforementioned result, the Eagles, by the way, prevailed 24-20 in what unfolded as a surprisingly tight contest. Philadelphia entering the game and favored by more than a touchdown, and similarly, by the way, the first of the league 272 regular season games. And but one is unique and anticipated deserves, by the way, its own breakdown of winners and losers. So here we go. Here we go now. And Jalen, by the way, Hurts and Dak Prescott, despite quarterbacking two of the leagues and the most prominent franchises, and this story, by the way, has largely been out of the headlines in the recent months, and Hurts by nature is a sales, by the way, do more kind of guy. And the Super Bowl, by the way, 59 MVP delivered plenty efficient through the air while running for a pair of scores. And he is studying influence was also apparent, by the way, during a disjointed evening. And in the summer, by the way, Parsons' saga in Dallas largely overshadowed, and Prescott, by the way, returned from a serious hamstring injury that cost him the final 9 games of the 2024 season. But by the way, he appeared comfortably in command of a Dallas offense that had little trouble moving the ball on a Philly defense that ranked, by the way, as the league's best in 2024 season. And also, by the way, with a DT Jalen Carter on the field, and more on him later. And while you could thank Prescott, by the way, for failing to come up with a key sequence in the fourth quarter, the guys, by the way, who are supposed to be making plays for him, and didn't it? It's just one game, by the way, obviously, and but always a good sign. And when your passer is in postseason and a ejected, by the way, from form in week 1, and the Cowboys, by the way, run game and ranked 27 a year ago. And when Dallas, by the way, averaged 100.3 yards on the ground per game, it showed, by the way, encouraging signs of life Thursday with 119 yards and 5.4 a clip. And recently, by the way, signed Javonte Williams, rushed for multiple TDS for only the second time in his 5-year career. And RB Miles, by the way, Sanders' third quarter fumble was a killer show. And you thought, by the way, football was an all-weather sport. And a lightning strike proximal to the stadium with 4:44 remaining time to play in the third quarter delayed the game for 63 minutes. And notably, by the way, no points were scored once the stoppage ended. And when the Eagles, by the way, last opened an NFL season 7 years, by the way, ago, following their win in Super Bowl 52. The start of their week 1 game against the Atlanta Falcons was delayed, by the way, for almost an hour by severe weather, and even crazier. And when the Cowboys, by the way, were in Pennsylvania a year ago, and in Pittsburgh, and the kickoff, by the way, of their Week 5 game against the Steelers was pushed to nearly 10 p.m. time by inclement, by the way, weather. And Philly guys signing the national anthem, and as only they can, by the way, and reaping Eagles legends Brian Dawkins and Jerome Brown and Reggie White perfection. That's fine. Okay. And the Eagles, by the way, best defensive player didn't last even one snap, and ejected following the kickoff for his biting on Prescott's jersey as Dallas handled during an injury timeout. And Carter, by the way, was similarly, by the way, escorted off the field by Eagles security. A chief Big Dom and DeSandro, and whatever, by the way, advantage Philly had by not having to face Parsons was at least largely offset by losing the anchor of a unit that lost several players from its front seven during free agency, along with the retirement of D.E. Brandon Graham. And it's also worth, by the way, wondering if Carter, by the way, might miss more time if the league decides a further suspension is warranted. Is warranted. And Cowboys run defense, by the way. And Cowboys run defense, as well as Dallas moved the ball on the ground, and it got fluid on the other side of the ball. And that's good, by the way, to be concerning to owner Jerry Jones, given his avoid desire to stop the run was allegedly part of his rational for trading Parsons in return for D.T. Kenny Clark, and two first rounders, and the Eagles, by the way, built up 158 yards and all three of their TDs on the ground. And Carter, by the way, wasn't the only dog to have a rough night. And the Eagles GM, Howie Roseman, famously collected football by the players from Athens and has 8 former UGA players on the roster, including 6 active on the 53-man unit. And make no mistake, by the way, is a championship DNA definitely carried over evidence by the Georgia guys and imprint on Philly's charge to the Super Bowl 59 crown. But not only was Carter kicked out Thursday night, and OLP, Nolan Smith incurred a pair of 15-yard penalties for taunting and roughing T.D. Jordan Davis, and C.B. Kelly. Rango had negligible, by the way, impacts, and OLP Aziz Ojulari wasn't active, by the way, and the newly announced presenting sponsor of the Touch Push didn't get much, by the way. Didn't get much to present, and the Eagles didn't use by the way to play, and until the fourth quarter, and didn't need it to get into the end zone. And flashing a clever campaign, by the way, opening night, and the Dallas defensive tackle, a first round back in 2023 season, and was inactive, by the way, and basically a healthy scratch, and pretty damning development, given Jones, by the way, and newfound and obsession with guys and who can plug a gap to stop runners like Scone Berkeley. And the state NBC, by the way, analyst Chris Collinsworth during the broadcast says that that's a close, by the way, to being cut as you can be, and don't be surprised if that's a fate, Smith. And who made, by the way, very little impact during his first 2 seasons and is facing soon enough. And Philly, by the way, Philly secondary, by the way, is seemed to suffer from Carter's absence, guilty of multiple pass interference, and infractions. And S read by the way, blank Blankenship was flagged for nearly decapitating decapitating Cowboys TE Jack Ferguson in the end zone. And the Phillies star by the way receiver with just one catch, and got to wonder how healthy his hamstring actually. And Eagles coach Nick Sirianni, by the way, credited Dallas defense and the games for limiting Brown. And still his 8-yard grab inside the final 2 minutes helped the Eagles secure the win. Thank you so much. Have a nice time and great day. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you so much.